Apple is about to hurt Samsung. And by hurt them, I mean kick them directly in the balls.
Want daily tech news in a way that doesn't suck? Of course you do. Hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you don't miss the next episode.
Yo, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to Front Page Tech. Of course, show that gives you all latest tech news from one geek that is me to another that is you. Happy Tuesday. I think it's Tuesday. Man, we are just like squeezing every last bit of tech news out of 2019. Like, we're just crawling towards the finish line. Like that, it reminds me of that dog in Family Guy. You know, this dog that's like, legs don't work, so he just crawls? That's what this feels like. Except it's less dog and more just Front Page Tech. Just Front Page Tech is just crawling to the finish line. Okay, so let's do that. Let's do the news. All right, so first of all, we have to talk about it. Story numero uno, number one, Google Pixel 4a. Holy shit. Once again, thanks to the ever so beautiful, ever so trusted, ever so lovely OnLeaks, we have renders of the Pixel 4a. Now, at this point, I know you're probably like, John, is this it? You usually have contacts at Google. Correct. I do have contacts at Google. I usually do know what's coming with these Pixel devices, but I actually haven't heard anything about the 4a. I mean, obviously it's coming, but I haven't seen or heard anything. But we should trust OnLeaks for sure. I mean, look at this thing. It looks so good. This is what it should have been. This is what it should have been 2-3 years ago. Like, remember all that Pixel 3 drama and all the like weird promo Google was doing, and we thought we were gonna get a bezel-less Pixel? Be honest, if we got that, we wouldn't have been complaining. We would have been happy with that. This looks better than the Pixel 3, 3XL, better than the Pixel 3a, better than the Pixel 4. This looks great. This, without a doubt, is the most exciting Android phone to me, for me. I don't care. You're all like, oh, but the Note's so special. Or the Huawei P90X thing is great. Oh, it's so exciting. So the specs. I don't give a shit what you think. To me, this is what I'm most excited about on the Android side of things. Stock Android the way Google intends it to be on a device that isn't ridiculously priced. And that device looks tits. It looks great. Listen, this ain't about specs. This ain't about hardware. It's not a hardware game. It's a software game. And if you want stock Android, this is it. This is the phone. Buy this phone. All right, so this next one, I saw this story. I was just scrolling. I saw the headline. I just started laughing. Apparently, allegedly, reportedly, Apple is working on a gaming-focused Mac. Pause. Just let's take a second to just let this sink in. Let's truly appreciate this moment together. Whether it's true or not, real or not, let's just take a second to let this sink in. What? So the report comes from Economic Daily News, which we got to tell you right off the bat, the track record is iffy with this one. So this is a bit of a sketchy one, but they are saying that Apple will launch a $5,000 Mac completely focused on gaming in 2020. The report does not state whether we can expect this to come in a form of like a MacBook or an iMac or what. We got no idea. But according to them, we will see it at WWDC 2020 in June. Now, I know you probably want to know my opinion, like if I think it's going to happen. Man, I don't know. Like, my instincts want to say no, but Apple's been doing a lot of weird stuff lately. And I don't know. You never know. Like, this seems like a weird demographic for Apple to actually address. If they did it, it would almost feel like they did it just for these people right here. The ones that are like, but you can't game on a Mac. You can't play no games on the Mac. Listen, we'll see. 2020, June, WWDC. Set your reminders, set your calendars. And it's tech, and we're going into 2020. If this is actually a thing, it won't be a secret. We'll hear more about it before WWDC, so subscribe to this channel. See what I did there? Gave you time to... Okay. Next, we got some pretty bad news for Samsung. So this is Apple news again, but also Samsung news, and it's good news for Apple, bad news for Samsung. You see, for years, Samsung and Apple have gone back and forth, bitter rivals till the end. Many lawsuits, many patent disputes. They don't like each other very much, but they need each other. Samsung makes a ton of displays for Apple stuff. Most of the time, when Apple sells an iPhone, Samsung get some monies. So yeah, Apple sources a lot of their displays from Samsung, and it's for good reason. Not just because Samsung displays are great, because yeah, they are. Probably the best displays in the business. But it's a combination of Samsung making really good displays, but also being able to produce them at scale. Apple sells a lot of stuff. They sell a lot of shit, and Samsung makes great displays, but also has the resources and infrastructure in place to be able to produce that many displays. So when Apple does find other companies to make displays for them, those companies can't handle the scale that Apple needs to work at, which is why Apple is still attached to Samsung a lot. But like I said, Apple and Samsung, they don't like each other, so Apple wants to wean off of the Samsung titty, you know what I mean? They've been suckling for a while, and they need to wean themselves off. According to My Drivers, a report from South Korea, a Chinese company is going to be providing up to 45 million display panels in 2021. Since 2017, with the iPhone X, Samsung has been the main provider for OLED display panels for Apple. And Apple has been trying to get away from Samsung, and this looks like a big percentage. This looks like a big leap away from Samsung and towards Apple's goal of not needing them as much. So we can expect to start to see BOE in China start to take a little bit more of a role in terms of producing these displays for iPhones, starting with the iPhone 12, and hopefully they'll be working at capacity by 2021. This is not good for Samsung. Now, even though Apple is definitely trying and preparing to get away from Samsung completely, that can't happen just yet. I mean, they're still under contract to allow Samsung to provide and source most of the panels for iPhones. I mean, that's in the contract. And if Apple doesn't reach like the requirements according to Samsung and sell as many phones as they're supposed to, sell as many OLED panels as they're supposed to, they actually pay a penalty. Like Apple just paid a $684 million penalty to Samsung for not meeting their minimum order requirements for iPhone displays. Now, here's where I jump in, give you my opinion. I don't think this Chinese company, BOE, I don't think they can do it. So BOE is the world's top supplier for LCD panels for TVs, and they've been investing a lot into OLED panels, but I do not think that they can produce at the quality Apple requires, at the quality Apple needs, and at the scale Apple needs them to produce. What this seems like more to me is just leverage. This is Apple not exactly trying to completely leave Samsung, even though it may look like that. This is Apple actually trying to use other companies as leverage, being like, hey, we only paid this company this much per panel for display, and if you want to keep producing for us and make money from us, we should talk. So this could just be a way of Apple sort of threatening Samsung's business as a way to negotiate a different price per panel that they have with Samsung, a completely different agreement. That's what I think. And as much as I want to believe it's actually this, just Apple going, "Keh!" and Samsung going, but for why? Why you do this to me? And then Tim Cook's like, "'Cause fuck you." It's probably just a way of Apple trying to get them to talk further and renegotiate prices and pay a little bit less to Samsung. And that's the show. Hopefully you liked it, you learned something. If you did, hit that like button. If you hate my stupid face, hit the dislike button. If you're new here, subscribe, and I'll see you guys tomorrow.